Okay, so not exactly your ordinary run-of-the-mill suburban subdivision, but I did do some demographic research and found that there is a high concentration of Cayennes that live in these parts. So perfect opportunity for us to test our not-so-Cayenne Cayenne. Currently in sport mode, but there are two buttons here, E-Charge, E-Power. For this demonstration, I think we need to go to E-Power. E-Power activated. I would say turbines to speed, but there are no turbines. So, let's go. Okay, so foot to the floor. Like some of the other plug-in hybrids, the engine does come in when you are accelerating very fast. But then now we're back into E-Power. One thing I've got to point out, I've driven this thing the majority of my time with it in E-Power, and it's kind of a weird experience to look down at a Porsche tachometer and it sits as 0 as you're driving. Neat, but a weird experience. But now let's come around here, again come to a stop, but this time let's not put our foot to the floor, just full electric mode, so that 95 horsepower, 229 pound-feet of pulling power. How do you best describe it? It's, when you're driving this thing around town, it's just effortless power. With other Cayennes, with the exception of the turbo, you do have to put your foot into them. This one, not so much. Wait till you check this out. Look at all the goodies we got in here. So it's more than a plug. I know this is not an Aston Martin, and I can't always bring you exciting cars. But actually, this still has 416 horsepower. Okay, well, if you're not going to pay attention, I'm still going to go through this. So this is the cable to plug the thing into the wall. But look at how long this thing is. So this goes into the car, and this one, because it's longer, see that? It's optional. No, not exciting? Well, wait till you see this. This is the other side that goes into a 220-volt plug, also optional. Again, everything in Porsche optional. And then this is standard. This is what goes into the 110-volt. This is what we've been charging at home. No? But then check this big honking thing out, this control unit. This thing is like monstrous. You can turn on and off the charging from the unit here. Okay, at least you're paying attention. But then get this. As part of getting the longer cable as an option, you get this like wall mount thing, which you can put the wall mount onto like the garage and then put this thing on the wall. No? Okay, so let's try an experiment. Let's go back to EV power mode and watch the tachometer just drop. It's just the weirdest sensation. And we are in Sport Plus mode, this button right here. So this is, I'm honest, the way I've been driving the car the whole week, because I would call this just normal Cayenne mode. Like, look, I'm going around a lovely uphill declining radius turn, even continues with the elevation change here. Doesn't disturb this thing at all. But check this out. Go back to comfort mode. So now I'm in comfort, still in EV. Let's put our foot into it some more. Actually, the gas motor kicked in there. What's important to know here, still somewhat composed, but what's more important is what you are not feeling. You're not feeling two propulsion systems. Like, you and I drive a lot of different plugins. I feel like in Season 7 we're driving an incredible amount of plugins. We're starting to see the two propulsion systems, at least the mass and the packaging, masked in the driving dynamics. Now, you would expect it in a Porsche. Starting to see it in some others, like in the Hyundai, it was actually pretty good. Here, you would be really hard-pressed to discern this from a standard Cayenne. I don't know. Besides this, do you see anything? Yeah, we've looked all over this thing, and we can't find any, like, packaging differences from a standard Cayenne to this. I mean, yeah, this thing takes up a lot of space, but you can leave that thing at home. And obviously still have enough room for a Kumo, right? Yeah, I know. Let's come around this turn here. I would ask you to hold on, but you're not in the car with me. And stop. Now, like the driving dynamics, what you notice is that you don't notice anything different. Yes, you are getting power from those brakes back to the battery, but in most scenarios, I can't honestly tell you a scenario I've noticed that these are hybrid regen brakes. So you thought that Cadillac was the only one that had a lock on a platinum SUV. Well, in a very odd turn of events, it looks as if Porsche has taken a page out of Dave Leone's playbook. You see, this is special not only because there's an electric motor somewhere underneath there, but this is a platinum level Cayenne. And that means a lot of things, specifically that paint I was talking about in the tech review, the wheels. Now, he doesn't like this color. I've tried to talk him into it, but he doesn't like brown. But it is on offer in a couple of other colors as a platinum edition. And then the seats on the inside, Alcantara. And magic! We're in another car and another state. We're here to prove a point about the Porsche. You see, pay no attention to what car this is, just know that this is an internal combustion engine car only, and I've deliberately done this with a CVT, so you could hear all that engine noise? That is what a normal car sounds like. The thing about the Porsche, it's an electric car, so you don't hear the engine, but it's an SUV with these big honking tires. So what you hear is this tire noise, but no engine noise. Yes, it's a very odd oral sensation, but you don't put your finger on it until you get back into a traditional car. Okay, I gotta point this out to you guys. Check out the view from this one turn. I'm gonna slow down here. This is one of the most stunning views of all of Los Angeles. You can look down into Beverly Hills, downtown LA, Santa Monica, LAX, I mean everything, even over to Ranchos Palos Verdes. This is one of the reasons why you live in LA. So a side note about Apple CarPlay, you and I have used this integration in many different cars. Here I've noticed a couple of odd pieces. Number one, the voice recognition doesn't always work. And number two, there are times like you try to do something, for example, send a text, and it'll hear you. It'll say, what would you like me to send? And you try to send it, and then it just goes into nothingness. And it's not just the text app, it's virtually all the apps in this integration. Okay, so in an effort to conserve some juice in the battery, let's go ahead and switch to e-charge mode. And what we've done is we switched on the motor, but we're sending some of the power from the motor as well as the brakes back to the battery. I gotta say, it's very quick charge time as you're driving. You can almost get to 12 miles back within like an hour. But the elephant in the room is, what's the efficiency? So the total time I've been driving this has been about 7 days, and I've been primarily driving it on electric mode. But when I do drive it in gas, I have done an average of 21 mpg, and remember, a vehicle that is 5,400 pounds. So what do you think we got? He says a Porsche. What he means to say is he didn't notice a difference in the way this drives from most other Cayennes. Yeah, there was a couple of things, but it's minuscule, probably the least invasive hybrid we have driven, or just me for that matter, to the point where I'm now intrigued to see a full electric version of this. That's kind of where I'm at. So with that, I want to kind of turn this around to you guys and leave you with a question. Actually, both of us want to leave you with a question here. This is $90,000 the way it sits. Not cheap. How much more would you pay for a full electric Cayenne with, let's make it up, a range of 250 miles? And don't just tell me how much you would pay, but also let me know what you would do with it on a daily basis. Let us know in the comments below or via our social media, MotoManTV all one word, MotoManTV all one word, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And with that, we actually want to leave you with one thing. We normally nag you about the mobile applications, but today, YouTube has done this ridiculously stupid thing where if you subscribe to us, you don't get notified anymore. You have to click notifications to get notified when we have a new episode. So he wanted me to remind you, to tell you to click the notification button to make sure you're seeing he and I, especially when we have cool cars like this or his favorite Aston Martins. I think our time is done because he wants to take a nap and go for dinner. So until I see you next time, bis später. Okay, the ultimate test. What do you think? I guess he didn't want to stay. Further proof, his favorite cars are Aston Martins.